Imagine spending days beating the worst game you've ever played, only to die the moment you finish it. But when you wake up, you realize you've been reincarnated inside that exact garbage game. Not as a main character, but as a side character who's destined to have the worst life imaginable. The story kicks off with our boy Leon, who got blackmailed by his evil little sister into clearing an anime game. Leon suffered through every second of it. He absolutely hated the game because women ruled society. Every noble acted like they were the center of the universe, and the whole world made about as much sense as a fish riding a bicycle. After finally beating that garbage game, he went out to grab some food, but fate decided to troll him. He slipped down the stairs, died like an NPC, and woke up reincarnated as Leon Faux Bartfort. At first, he had no memories of his old life, but as he grew older, everything suddenly came flooding back. That was when he realized the horrifying truth. He had been reborn inside the exact same game he couldn't stand. 10 years later, Leon figured out that the Bartfort family never even appeared in the original story, meaning he was nothing more than a background extra. Since he had already completed the entire game once, he wrote down everything he could remember in a notebook so future Leon wouldn't get scammed by fate. Life was peaceful while working on the farm, but the peace didn't last long because Zola suddenly announced that he would marry a noblewoman. The problem was that the woman had already been married 7 times, and Leon wasn't exactly excited to become husband number 8. He begged to attend the academy instead, but Zola immediately crushed that dream by saying it cost a fortune. His father, Balkus, agreed that they couldn't afford it, while Zola added that Leon should be grateful because nobody else would willingly marry him. Talk about emotional damage. She then threatened that if he refused the marriage, he'd be shipped straight into the army. Leon started panicking until he remembered he literally knew this world's future. He confidently claimed he already had a plan and only needed some money. Later, it was revealed that Zola was merely Balkus's second wife who married into the family name, while Leon's real mother was Luce. Before leaving, Leon secretly asked his father for one favor. Soon after, Leon set off aboard a flying ship, believing everything should match the game. He also remembered that the game's true heroine, Olivia, would be attending the academy with him. During the journey, a flying fish appeared, and Leon instantly remembered it was an easy source of experience points. So he blasted the poor creature with a massive shotgun without a second thought. After searching for quite a while, he finally found a hidden transporter beneath the sea. The moment he approached it, a giant whirlpool swallowed his ship, smashed it into pieces, and teleported him somewhere else. His first concern wasn't surviving. It was wondering how furious his dad would be about the destroyed ship. After exploring the area, he discovered ancient ruins that looked exactly like the dungeon from the game. Inside, he found a mysterious laboratory, grabbed a keycard from a skeleton, and entered a restricted area filled with rare ships that he remembered buying during his final playthrough. The moment he boarded one of them, a guardian robot appeared. Leon tried fooling it with the keycard, but the machine instantly realized he wasn't the original scientist and attacked him. It grabbed Leon, interrogated him, then concluded humanity had changed too much over the centuries and announced it would wipe out every new human, starting with him. While the machine slowly crushed him, Leon decided he wasn't about to die twice. He drew his sword and drove it straight through the robot's head, blowing the metal idiot to pieces. After reaching the control room, the ship recognized Leon as its new owner. Another robotic voice explained that although he was a modern human, he possessed traits similar to the ancient creators. Leon responded by ranting about how unbelievably trash this cursed Otomi game was, leaving the AI completely confused. Injured and exhausted, Leon admitted he didn't want to die again and even wondered how his annoying sister was doing back in his old world. He eventually passed out, and the ship automatically rushed him to its medical facilities. 3 months later, Zola confidently assumed Leon had failed, ruined the marriage, and probably died somewhere. Then, everyone heard a massive ship arriving outside. To her absolute horror, Leon stepped out richer than ever, carrying enough treasure to make her blood pressure explode. Smiling like he just won the lottery, Leon decided he'd never give Zola the satisfaction of forcing him into that ridiculous marriage. Thanks to the fortune he found, he enrolled in the academy and prepared to meet every major character from the game, knowing that staying a background character would be nearly impossible. A few days later, Leon was introduced to his AI partner, Luxion. While Leon watered his plants, he revealed that he had also claimed an entire floating island. Luxion suggested building hot springs there as a business, and before Leon could even finish agreeing, the AI casually announced construction had already begun. Luxion then reminded him that becoming a proper knight meant finding a wife at the academy. Not long after, Balkus informed Leon that discovering the island and clearing the dungeon had earned the family a Baron title. Leon almost had a heart attack because attention was the last thing he wanted. His father then reminded him that rejecting the title meant finding someone with Zola's status instead, instantly traumatizing him all over again. When academy life finally began, Leon noticed everything everything looked exactly like the game. He knew he'd spend 3 years there while somehow finding a wife, and it didn't take long to notice that women really did run the entire society. Soon, the famous Prince Julius arrived, and Leon immediately remembered why he couldn't stand that smug, pretty boy even after 10 years. Then Angelica, the daughter of a powerful duke, made her entrance. Leon decided to stay far away from both of them because attracting attention sounded like a terrible life choice. After the opening ceremony dragged on forever, Leon was ready to leave when he suddenly heard that a girl named Marie had slapped Julius. That wasn't supposed to happen at all, making Leon realize the story had already started going off the rails. Back home, Luxion reported that he had been researching this world's magic while Leon admitted he was busy studying the much more important topic of hosting the perfect tea party. The next day, Leon teamed up with his classmates Daniel and Raymond to plan a tea party that might finally help them talk to girls without embarrassing themselves. Then, Julius showed up surrounded by a personal fan club because apparently, oxygen wasn't enough for his ego. Leon learned that Julius was engaged to Angelica but was now inviting Marie instead, even though Olivia was supposed to fill that role. The timeline was officially broken. Later, Leon attended etiquette lessons where every student was a boy desperately trying to learn noble manners. Since Leon wasn't paying attention, the teacher dragged him to the front to demonstrate proper etiquette. Surprisingly, he nailed it and became even more determined to master tea parties. He later invited several girls to practice with him, but they shamelessly admitted they were only killing time until better invitations arrived. After the disappointing tea party ended, the girls left without a shred of guilt, and Leon heard a commotion outside. Curious, he walked over and found several students bullying a lonely girl. The moment he saw her face, he froze because she was Olivia, the actual heroine of the game. Leon immediately reminded himself that getting close to her was basically signing up for future disaster, but his conscience refused to let him ignore her. So instead of minding his own business like a smart person, he invited her inside for some tea and snacks. Olivia happily accepted, and after tasting the food, she looked like she had just discovered heaven. It was revealed that she was a commoner who had earned a scholarship to the academy, which naturally made the spoiled nobles treat her like trash, because apparently rich kids had a PhD in being insufferable. During their conversation, Olivia admitted she wanted to become better at magic, so Leon said he knew someone who could help. The two then visited the academy's fortune-telling expert, who advised them to befriend the most influential girls in school by offering high-quality snacks. Olivia immediately worried about the cost, but Leon casually volunteered to pay, proving that his wallet suffered more damage than his enemies ever would. Soon afterward, Olivia met Angelica in private. Angelica dismissed everyone else and calmly explained that she had no issue with Olivia studying at the academy because deciding who belonged there wasn't her job. She even admitted she liked Olivia far more than Marie. When Olivia revealed that Leon had planned the tea party, Angelica became genuinely interested, realizing that the country bumpkin was far more clever than he looked. Before long, the students headed into dungeon exploration class, where they were assigned to gather crystals from the 3rd floor. Leon quickly noticed that because he came from the countryside, the nobles were shamelessly using him as monster bait, and Olivia received exactly the same treatment. Meanwhile, Julius refused to leave Marie's side for even 5 seconds. Angelica confronted her own fiancé, but the spineless prince immediately defended Marie instead. To make things even worse, his loyal fan club abandoned Angelica without hesitation. Leon couldn't help thinking that despite living in a world ruled by women, Julius and his gang somehow still acted like entitled rich brats with plot armor. Eventually, Leon and Olivia reached the 3rd floor, where Olivia happily collected a crystal while Leon kept reminding himself that he needed to stay away from her because, according to the original story, she was supposed to end up with Julius and his crew, not with some random background character. Unfortunately for his plans, life refused to cooperate. The pair entered another chamber filled with monsters, so Leon unsheathed the sword crafted by Luxion and cut through the creatures with ease. Not long after, Julius and his dramatic theater club finally showed up. While Marie clung to Julius like expensive chewing gum, Angelica's jealousy kept growing. Julius and his group defeated several monsters, but during the fight he suffered a minor injury. Marie immediately rushed over and healed him while Angelica arrived moments later, only to watch her own fiancé completely ignore her before grabbing Marie's hand and walking away. Honestly, the guy treated his fiancé like expired furniture. Meanwhile, Leon also suffered a monster bite, and Olivia used healing magic to treat his wound. She shyly admitted that healing was the only magic she truly excelled at. Leon couldn't understand why Olivia kept paying attention to someone who was supposed to be a background extra, and Julius's completely different behavior only made things even more suspicious. It was becoming painfully obvious that the game's storyline had gone completely off the rails. As Marie walked away with Julius, she glanced back and flashed an unsettling smile that screamed trouble. The following day, several girls were seen burning books, and rumors quickly spread that Angelica had ordered Marie's Marie's belongings destroyed. Julius immediately confronted Angelica, but despite her denying everything, he coldly told her to stay away from him and Marie, claiming their engagement meant nothing inside the academy. The poor girl got emotionally nuked in public while Julius kept collecting L's as boyfriend of the year. Elsewhere, Leon and his friends complained because they still hadn't found any girls willing to marry them. While discussing Julius and Angelica's constant arguments, Leon realized these events were happening much earlier than they ever should have. Later, he met Olivia in the library and casually asked what kind of person Marie really was. Olivia nervously wondered if Leon liked her, but he immediately shut that idea down with a disgusted expression, saying he couldn't stand Marie at all. Olivia explained that she had once approached Marie out of kindness, only for Marie to coldly tell her she hated girls like her. Leon couldn't understand why Marie acted so hostile until whispers nearby caught his attention. Following the voices, he was shocked to discover Marie secretly kissing Brad, one of Julius's closest companions. At the same time, Marie happily wandered through the academy, thinking this new life was absolutely perfect. Julius and Jilk soon approached her, and after noticing she didn't even have a servant, Jilk immediately offered to pay for one. Marie gladly accepted while secretly thinking she would squeeze every last advantage out of this world because, unlike her previous life, everyone here practically worshipped her. Meanwhile, Angelica learned that Marie was now receiving even more special treatment. Left alone, she quietly questioned how the prince she had been raised to marry since childhood had completely fallen for another girl. Back with Leon, his sister Jenna suddenly appeared and questioned him about Marie. Leon simply explained that she had been spending all her time with the prince. Jenna immediately warned him not to get involved because once Julius became king, making an enemy of him would destroy Leon's future. Leon promised to stay out of trouble, and Jenna left after reminding him not to embarrass the family. Luxion then appeared and reminded Leon that the first semester was nearly over, yet somehow the man still hadn't found a wife. Leon instead shamelessly asked Luxion to investigate the girls' cup sizes, leaving the AI disappointed enough to reject the request on behalf of civilization itself. Several weeks later, the academy hosted a grand party. Leon and his unlucky friends desperately tried flirting with different girls, but got rejected one after another until a beastman finally beat them up for good measure. Their romantic career somehow managed to reach negative numbers. Suddenly, Olivia rushed over and revealed that huge drama had broken out. Angelica was publicly arguing with Julius after seeing Marie holding another man's hand. Instead of defending his fiancée, Julius's entire squad backed Marie, and then the prince dropped the biggest bombshell by openly declaring his love for her in front of everyone. Furious and heartbroken, Angelica ripped off her glove and challenged Marie to a formal duel over Julius. Leon instantly remembered this famous event from the game. Julius's 5 companions immediately volunteered to fight on Marie's behalf, while absolutely nobody stepped forward for Angelica. Since losing the duel would completely destroy her future, Angelica tearfully declared that she was willing to fight them all herself if necessary. Watching her stand completely alone finally broke Leon's resolve. Even though he had promised himself never to interfere with the main story, he stepped forward and volunteered to fight for her. The crowd immediately erupted because everyone knew Leon was the adventurer who had conquered an ancient dungeon and claimed an entire floating island before even entering the academy. The duel's conditions were then established. If Angelica won, Marie would have to stay away from Julius forever. Marie accepted but insisted that noble families couldn't interfere afterward. Leon responded by roasting Julius and his entire squad, mocking them for acting tough while hiding behind numbers. When Jilk offered to let Leon choose 5 teammates, Leon confidently rejected the idea and declared he would defeat all 5 himself in separate one-on-one battles. Finally, he threw down the challenge and told Julius to get ready to lose everything. Marie was furious because Leon was threatening the future she had carefully planned. While eating the food her servants brought, she casually hinted that she possessed knowledge about the game itself, subtly suggesting she might also have come from another world. Back at Leon's room, Luxion reported that someone had vandalized his room. Leon confidently declared he was betting on himself to win the duel, only to discover that literally nobody else had placed a single coin on him. Even the gamblers had more faith in gravity than Leon. Before the battle, Angelica quietly begged him to cancel the duel because she didn't want him risking his life for her. Leon refused, explaining that withdrawing would only destroy what little reputation she had left. Angelica admitted she had already lost most of her influence, but Leon honestly confessed he couldn't care less about noble politics. He simply wanted to wipe the smug expressions off Julius and his gang because they annoyed the hell out of him. The following day, the long-awaited duel finally began. After receiving Olivia's support, Leon entered the arena where Julius's team proudly displayed their powerful modern armors. Then, Luxion dramatically dropped Leon's ancient machine from the sky. The spectators burst into laughter because compared to the sleek new models, Leon's armor looked like a rusty museum exhibit. Even Olivia couldn't understand why everyone was laughing until Angelica explained that although the machine contained lost ancient technology, it was still considered hopelessly outdated by modern standards. Completely ignoring everyone's ridicule, Leon climbed inside Arrogance and prepared for battle. His first opponent was Brad, who couldn't stop boasting about his strength. Leon confidently reached for his weapon, only to pull out a shovel. The audience exploded with laughter because Leon had accidentally replaced his real weapon with a shovel while repairing the machine. Brad became furious, convinced Leon was mocking him on purpose. The fight started immediately, and Brad charged at full speed while unleashing countless lance attacks from his weapon. Leon calmly dodged every strike by the smallest margins before delivering a single devastating counterattack that instantly knocked Brad out. Luxion casually remarked that Leon had only grazed him because using his full power would have killed the poor idiot outright. The entire arena fell silent in complete disbelief. Only Leon's professor proudly applauded while Angelica couldn't stop laughing. Finally realizing the so-called background character was about to humiliate every arrogant noble who had underestimated him. Before anyone could recover, Greg stepped forward as the second challenger. Luxion immediately noticed that Greg's armor had been repaired countless times and warned Leon that this opponent actually knew how to fight. As the duel began, Greg charged straight in with his lance, but Leon calmly blocked every attack without breaking a sweat. He then mocked Greg for choosing the worst possible weapon before snatching the lance away and beating the poor guy senseless with a shovel. At that point, the shovel had officially earned more respect than half the academy. Furious, Greg jumped out holding nothing but a metal pipe and declared he would fight until his last breath. Leon simply replied that he hated picking on weaklings, unlike Julius's pathetic little fan club. The crowd couldn't believe Leon had won a second match so effortlessly, while Marie silently watched her carefully crafted plans crumble into dust. The third challenger, Chris, stepped forward and promised he wouldn't underestimate Leon like the others had. Leon welcomed the confidence, admitting he was already getting bored of beating clowns. The fight started instantly as Leon released one of Luxion's drones, which began firing at Chris. Furious, Chris accused Leon of fighting like a coward before charging in with his sword. Leon caught the blade with one hand and shattered it into pieces as if it were made of cheap plastic. One of the Academy's greatest swordsmen dropped to his knees in complete disbelief after losing in seconds. Leon casually suggested he go cry to Marie and maybe she'd hand him a participation trophy. The audience could practically hear Chris's dignity committing suicide. Meanwhile, Jilk started panicking because countless students had bet money on Julius's team, and losing now would completely destroy the prince's reputation. Around the same time, Jenna secretly asked some girls to convince Leon to withdraw from the next match. They found him shortly afterward and begged him to stop risking his life, but Leon calmly refused, insisting he was in perfect condition. As he returned toward the arena, Luxion informed him that his own sister had secretly sabotaged Arrogance by planting magical explosives inside it under orders from Earl Offrey. Leon wasn't even surprised, saying the trick would have worked on ordinary armor, but Arrogance wasn't ordinary by any stretch of the imagination. The fourth match began with Jilk throwing a smoke bomb before firing an armor-piercing shell directly at Leon. The attack did absolutely nothing, forcing Jilk to trigger the hidden explosives. Jenna nervously watched the massive explosion, but once the smoke cleared, Leon was casually floating in the air completely unharmed. Enraged beyond reason, Jilk charged recklessly, but Leon ended the fight with one clean strike. Just like that, another arrogant noble was sent straight to the recycling bin. Soon, Julius entered the arena while the entire academy cheered for their prince. Leon simply looked around and thought the audience was full of idiots because they just watched him flatten Julius's entire team and still expected the prince to win. Even so, Leon acknowledged that Julius would eventually become much stronger in the future, even if he was still inexperienced right now. Julius respectfully apologized for underestimating Leon. Seizing the opportunity, Leon suddenly asked him what he thought about Olivia, knowing that according to the original story, she was supposed to become Julius's partner. Julius honestly admitted he barely knew her and only considered her a hardworking student. That answer confirmed Leon's suspicion that the storyline had already gone completely off script. Luxion then informed Leon that Julius's armor was by far the strongest opponent so far, leaving Leon with only one logical option: attack first. The two exchanged powerful blows as Leon admitted Julius possessed far more courage than his previous teammates. Julius fired back, saying Leon had no right to insult friends he didn't truly know. Leon ignored that and instead asked whether Julius genuinely loved Marie. Julius proudly answered yes, insisting she had changed the way he viewed the world and was worth abandoning Angelica for. Leon reminded him that Angelica had sincerely loved him all this time, but Julius insisted Leon was simply too arrogant and looked down on everyone. Leon didn't deny it. Instead, he proudly admitted his arrogance before asking how it felt to lose repeatedly against a simple country boy. He reminded Julius that unlike pampered nobles, he had nearly been sold into an arranged marriage, while the girls who attended his tea party only showed up because they pitied him. Hearing that backstory, even the spectators couldn't help sympathizing with Leon. Julius remained stubborn, declaring he would rather die than give up Marie. Those words finally shattered Angelica's heart as she realized the man she loved truly had no feelings left for her. Olivia couldn't stay silent anymore and publicly defended Angelica, explaining that she had been suffering throughout the entire duel. Julius ignored every word because, in his eyes, only Marie truly understood him. Leon immediately realized the prince had completely lost his brains somewhere along the way. Julius charged once again, but Leon disarmed him and offered one final chance, asking whether he truly understood that abandoning Angelica could even threaten his own claim to the throne. Julius answered that he didn't care about the throne anymore. He only wanted Marie. Hearing that, Leon finally accepted that the prince had become completely blinded by love, or stupidity. Without another word, he unleashed a powerful attack that completely destroyed Julius's armor, officially winning the duel. The arena exploded with cheers while Angelica sincerely thanked Leon and promised she would repay him someday. Olivia, however, questioned why Leon had spoken so harshly throughout the fight. Leon simply smiled and admitted he knew everyone would see him as the villain, and he fully expected to be expelled afterward.